All right, and it looks like we are live. And I'm just going to quick share this into my group. Okay, and we are shared out. So hello, everybody. Thanks for your patience. This is Celia Faye Meisel, energetic and spiritual alignment coach, spiritual healer, and next level spiritual teacher for ambitious energy workers. And welcome to Feature Friday, episode number 2. So we are here today with Linda Lang, multi-gifted, multi-talented, intuitive energy healer. She's like most of us where she could have about 20 different titles because to represent all that she does. So we're here with Linda today, and Linda is so gifted. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out and dive into a little bit about her journey, how she got started into becoming an energy worker, and then we're going to go from there. So let's get started and welcome Linda.
Hi, Celia. It is fantastic to be here in the group.
We got there's a little bit of a buzz, a little static.
This is nice. Maybe unplugging for a second.
Okay.
I might get that better. This is with my mic.
Say something again.
Hello, Celia.
Yeah, there's a static on the line.
That's really strange.
We did not have this, you guys. We did not have this 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Is it better if I take my mic out?
Yeah.
Is that better?
No.
Well, this is an interesting Facebook Live. Yeah.
It is. It is. It's like, it sounds like there's like a, I don't know, there's just an interference. Do you have your headset?
I do, but I can't plug it in here because I'm on my tablet.
Got it.
Yeah, I can get off and go back in on my computer if you prefer.
Yeah, will that work? Can you do that?
I can. So,
Oh, wait. Is that better? Say something.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
That's better. That's very strange. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we have company.
I think we have company, you guys. Wow. That was interesting. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we can hear you. Okay, so back to the introduction and whoever that was, let's just focus on Linda for the rest of the call. Okay.
Well, you're more than welcome, but let's not interfere with the technology, okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Linda Lang, and I have been on my journey with energy healing and general healing for a long, long time. When I was 22 years old, I was diagnosed with a really rare and aggressive cancer, and I walked away from the medical community. This was early 1982, I think, 82? Something like that. It's funny how we don't remember dates. I don't remember dates, but it's been a long, long time. And here I am, totally fine, all body parts, healed myself through diet and herbs and meditation, spiritual connection, and of course, going to energy healers. And for me at that time, there were not as much choice as there is today, obviously. And it was an interesting experience for me because I went to a lot of healers that I couldn't tell if they did anything differently. So when I started learning modalities, I started learning for myself. And all of my teachers would say, Linda, you're so good at this. You really should be doing this for other people. So eventually hung out my shingle with the intention really to help people have a tangible experience of energy work, more than just on faith or trust, but to actually know something shifted. Was one of my goals as a healer.
Okay.
Any questions on that,
Oh,
Celia?
sure. There's a lot to that. So,
The
so
whole story. Yeah. It's a big story.
it
Yeah.
is. It is. So how often did you go see healers? Like, were you going weekly, monthly? Like, do you remember the frequency of how often you were having sessions?
Well, first of all, I started with herbs and
Okay.
healing the physical body that way. And then when I moved on to energy healing, I would go pretty often. I would go like once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I would try all kinds of different modalities like Reiki. I took Reiki, ended up being a third level initiate, and started, into the mind things, and I would go pretty often. I was uh, a dedicated person because my life was at stake, right?
Right.
It was. They actually had given me a year to live,
Okay.
and um, if I followed their protocol, I had a 50% chance of living for 5 years. And that really wasn't good enough for me. So, and I kept having this dream um, that I interpreted as not to do their protocols. So I followed my inner guidance. I followed my guidance on what to do, and I kind of got sucked down that little drain of putting my power out to other people, to other healers, and had to call it back and really embody it. So that's not the kind of healer I want to be. I don't think a healer actually fixes you, but just
No.
opens a space and helps you to heal.
That's exactly right. They hold the space for you. There's nothing broken. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. There's nothing wrong, any of that.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. And I'm wearing a big sweater. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There isn't. And was there something that came in with that? Well, so let's now talk about, because you have multiple certifications. So I kind of want to bridge. There was that aspect of your story where you said that you had some healing experiences, or you went to healers and that you didn't really feel like a tangible result. You didn't know if it was working. Is that what led you into your work with the Site K and some of those other things that you're certified in, where you wanted, because when we do healing work as spiritual energy healers, it's really about us holding that frequency of we believe and we're confident what we do, but then our client must also have faith in the process, right? So so I guess the bridge that I'm trying to make is, do you feel that some of that, the certifications and the work that you did, was to help with your clients' belief system so they could believe that the work that they're doing is improving their lives?
Well, I actually took the training because I found it fascinating, the role that the mind has in creating our life experiences, and how when we can shift our mind, we can actually shift our experience. But I was doing it for myself. And
Yes.
again, it wasn't until
Okay.
later on, it's probably about 2005, 2006, when I actually started working with other people in a more professional way than before that. It was just interesting. I like to investigate and explore new possibilities, and that time period was really ripe for a lot of modalities and spiritual information to come a little bit more mainstream than it
Yes.
had been before. And I totally agree with you that a belief has a large part to do with it. But I also wanted to be able to switch that for people. so that if they didn't believe, they could have a tangible experience that might open that door for them. So a lot of the work I do, not the modality work, but the intuitive energy work that I do, the Huna shamanism and my own diamond ray, when I can shift something in you when you don't really know if it's true, and you sit there and you're like, how can that be? I mean, that's just fantastic for me, because I love to help people open that door of possibility, because when that door is open, you can have so much more in your life.
Right. Totally. So how do you, because obviously intention is a huge part, but how do you, bring that into your client's life where they do feel the tangible result?
Yeah, it depends. Well, first of all, I'm an empath, and I'm not what I would call an emotional empath, so that I don't feel your emotions, but I feel your energy system. So it's very easy for me to discern which of my modalities would benefit you for the reason that you're coming. And when I can take a depressed person and they can sit there and go, oh my God, I didn't know I could feel this good, or take away a person's pain, or whatever it is I'm working on, that's the little spark of, oh, maybe there is something to this energy healing that works. My regular clients expect magic. They intend magic. My long-term ones, we actually create an intention for our work together, and it's hugely powerful, the kind of shifts that people see. But, those little, just a few sessions here or there, those kind of people keep you on your toes. So they're good to have too. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
One of my favorite stories is she's so beautiful. A little 82-year-old woman came to me, a deacon of her church, if you can imagine, who, just didn't do this energy thing. But one of her friends suggested she come to me because she was waiting for a hip replacement, and she wasn't able to sleep more than 2 hours. She was going to be on the waiting list for 10 months. So she came. She had a session. She went home and slept for 10 hours straight, got up and ate, slept another 2 hours, and she came back 3 times. She needed a double hip replacement, but when we released the grief she was holding from the death of her only child, she's not needed the hip replacement. That's been 6 years.
Wow.
She will not have the surgery, not needed the surgery. It's an amazing story what's possible.
That is amazing. That is completely amazing. What a miracle.
It is a miracle. And here's a person that was willing to step outside of her belief box because she was in so much pain. Sometimes I think that's why we struggle so much. So we get to that point where we just aren't willing to do it anymore.
Yep. That was my story, because in 2013, I call it like I fried out my immune system. My body, just my digestive system shut down, my energy, everything. And that was my turning point where I immediately turned to energy work, naturopathic chiropractors and energy healers and new technologies to the planet, energetic technologies at late 2013, early 2014, because nobody could give me answers. I was one of those, well, it's stress. And I'm stressed because I can't eat anything, and so for me, it was that turning point of healing, getting into my healing journey and seeing how the energy work was changing my life so rapidly and really helping me to release all of that stuff. Because the second that the healing journey started was the moment that I had to face all of the things that I had been suppressing and I stepped on to my path, which brought me here today. So, for some of us, that's just, it's what our soul stepped into, and we had to come into those certain vibrations in this lifetime so that we could overcome and step into the beings that we're meant to be.
Blessings in disguise, right?
Right.
I'm
yeah.
very grateful for my cancer experience and all the fears and all the emotional roller coaster that entailed from that. But it really showed me how resilient I am and how intuitive I am and how I know what I need to heal and to really listen to my own inner guidance. And I consider myself a walking, talking miracle, because if you were to talk to a doctor now for the kind of cancer I had, they would still be flabbergasted that they wouldn't think it's possible.
Wow.
Here I am.
Wow. So you had mentioned, well, earlier we talked a little bit about the mind and thought in the creation of our lives, but there's also that emotional piece that you're very passionate about. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, our thoughts create our emotions, right? So they're really intricately linked. And part of the work that I do is to help people release those old emotions. For myself, in my own cancer story, years and years later, after doing all kinds of different belief work, my guides actually came in and showed me that all of the resentments that I had felt in my life up to the point of cancer were stored in my left leg. And they actually wanted to amputate my left leg. And that was their only protocol for dealing with this cancer, and hoping that it didn't grow anywhere else. So it was a real eye-opener for me, thinking about all the times I was, angry or held resentment or had bitterness, and here my whole leg was filled. So I started working on releasing it. I wasn't even an angry person, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, if you're not an angry person, it doesn't mean that you've not ever had that emotion, but maybe you've not allowed yourself to feel it because it wasn't proper or whatever you might have judged it at the time. Maybe it wasn't safe for you to express it. But once you actually understand the intelligence of emotions and how it works with your mindset and with your body, you've got to remember your unconscious mind is intricately woven with your physical body. And that includes your belief system and your emotions and all of your life experiences. So you're an Akashic record reader. I liken the unconscious mind as our own personal Akashic record. It remembers every single thing you thought, everything you said, everything you experienced, and everything in your environment, and takes it personally. It's really important that we learn how to love ourselves and cut a little bit of slack. Things don't work out perfectly. I mean, life is about experience, right?
Yes, I'm having like a healing while you talk, by the way. Like when you said that, I just had this I had this big shift come in.
I get that a lot, actually.
Yeah, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's I don't know how else to say it, but it's this idea of segregating little pieces of us and trying to heal that little piece, which is what our traditional medical community does, and it's everywhere. But really, we're whole beings. We need healing on every level. That's
Right.
the beauty of energy work. That's really the beauty.
Yes. Yes. So when we take that, we've talked a lot about the healing and the journey. And as we're sitting here, I'm asking okay, what What should I ask next? And the what came in was actually about also becoming a businesswoman. Let's talk a
Okay.
little bit about that journey. That was what came in. So just a little bit, because we have all these gifts, and again, my community, we're ambitious energy workers. Some women are just getting started. So talk a little bit about your journey of becoming a businesswoman, because that's a whole other skill set.
Totally, whole other skill set, and one that was not on my radar. It was not part of my plan in any way, shape, or form. I was quite happy in my job, and I, had two beautiful kids that were absolute miracles, and a wonderful husband. So who needs a business? But it was really funny how all that worked out, because I kept getting encouragement from my trainers saying, Linda, you're really, really good at this. You really should be doing this. And I had no interest in doing that, really, because my interest was my own self-growth, my own healing, my own actual spiritual evolution. Because when I had that cancer experience, I started having these very mystical experiences and visitations and like downloads of information. And if you've ever had any of that, it's addictive, okay? It's very intoxicating. And I just wanted more and more of that. And yet, here I am in my own business. So I took the advice of many of my trainers and opened a part-time business. And I really kind of did it for fun. So I worked part-time, and then I had my business part-time, and it was so much fun, and people would tell people, and it just kind of spread. And I had no desire to leave my job. And then one day, things started changing at work, and it became unbearable for me as a person who believes in equality and just the general respect that every person needs. I worked in a really small company, and there were some things that were happening in that company that were just really not acceptable. And one day my boss just asked me to do something, and nothing illegal or anything, but really taking away someone else's power. And I just wasn't willing to do that. So I took that as a sign that I guess it's time to really go full time. I really live my life very intuitively and pay attention to signs and invitations from the universe, that kind of thing. So I left that job, and I have great respect for everybody that worked for that company, but it was just, it kind of like, Edgar Casey, right? And Edgar Casey channeled about your spiritual ideals and how you have like a moral code or a code of ethics that are attributes to advance your spiritual ideal. And this was just crossing one of my lines, so I had to leave. And here I am now on this amazing journey of being my own business. And you know what it's like, boy, talk about a fast path of spiritual evolution.
Oh, yeah.
All your limiting beliefs come up, and all your emotions, and it's fascinating, really. And
Yeah.
I just love it. I really do just love it.
Me too. It's like the fast track to working on all your stuff. I mean, you have to. There's no other choice.
You can't hide. You can't blame anyone else.
Right.
You are it, baby.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
And it paves the way for such evolution. Like, I've grown so much. I would never, ever have thought. I mean, and every day, even if I'm learning some new tech thing, I'm just like so amazed that
Yes.
the skills that I've grown. It's amazing.
Yes. I know one of my intentions from the very beginning, I was just reflecting on like this point 2 years ago when I was in my first group coaching program, and how I remember getting on the calls and just, trying, because my coach was very intuitive, but she was a business coach. It was like kind of startups and newer entrepreneurs. And I just remember just wanting and craving so much, like, how can I integrate more of my spiritual side into my business? And I thought, well, maybe it's like through my programs that I offer. Like if I design my programs this way, that it'll feel more spiritual, and it didn't. And I feel like my last 2 years has been integrating that mastery of every task comes from spiritual flow. Everything that I do is a spiritual process in my business. And to me, that's like the ultimate wholeness, like, bringing in that integration, because we need to have that belief in every aspect. If we're like, I hate this, I don't want to send an email, that vibration comes through.
That's that same wholeness I was talking about before. You can pick apart your body parts, or your mind and your emotions and your spirit and your physical body, or your relationships, your business, your work life, your inner life. You can pick them all apart, but really the healing is on every level. I kind of did things backwards because I was very spiritually motivated because of those mystical experiences. And I had them separate, my work life and my spiritual life, and my healing was with the spiritual life. And people just responded so well to that. And then when the universe opened that door for me to let that more kind of 3D mundane job go, I mean, here I am, fully integrated. Well, we're working on it anyway.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yes. It's so interesting how we evolve and that process. I know for me, it was very much a struggle of like, I need to be in this box. Like that's something you and I have talked about before, because Linda and I have been mastermind partners as well. And, there's that box, and I want to fit this certain way. And I felt like, well, I have to be this business coach. And like, that's what I do because I'm an entrepreneur. And as I allowed my spiritual journey to progress, I realized, well, of course that's going to come up because I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, but it's this spiritual woman, this spiritual being that's at the front of everything. And I need to let her come forward. And before I was scared to, I had all the gifts, but I was like, well, business feels safe. So I'm going to do that. Whereas like, it feels, to come out with the spirituality aspect, it's like, oh my gosh, and all the mindset things that go into that. So we have all of our journeys,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I laugh when you say that, Celia, because I remember when I got my website, and it's a very spiritual website, and I was like panicking because, oh my God, I'm publishing it so the world's going to see it.
I know, everybody's going to see it. Oh my gosh.
My neighbors and, everything.
Yes.
It's like, just because it's published doesn't mean they're going to find you on the internet, right? So I've long got over that, but it's funny how those kind of limiting beliefs limit us in our experience, right? And isn't it fantastic now that there's so much more spirituality coming? There's this movement on all of these little entrepreneur businesses that really want to put their heart and soul into their business. And it's not just about money, it's your expression and how you serve life. So finally, it's good to see that it's making a ripple.
It really is. And I really believe that part of all of this is that energy workers are here to help change the money frequency of the planet. And that by us investing in our own evolution and supporting one another, we can actually leave behind the consumerism, this sort of way of life it's not empowering for Mother Earth. So we have to look at this different way. And it's so important for us to have our value systems in place so that when you do make money and you do have abundance, that you have your values as systems about how you're going to spend it and what it means to you and how you're going to make a contribution to the world. And there were a lot of things that totally got missed in my journey of like online training and online coaching, where it was very money, money, money. Even the spiritual coaches were money, money, money. And there was no talk about, well, what happens after you earn the money? What happens after that? And, how are you going to make a contribution to the planet and to the lives of your family? And there were also all of these energetic foundations that just weren't present. It's like, here's the marketing, here's the tech, here's the messaging, here's the this, but it's like, whoa, there's this energetic piece that goes into it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just valuing Mother Earth. The little message you came into me as you were saying that was that, we're actually devaluing ourselves when we live in that consumerism mindset.
Right.
So often it's because there isn't that self-worth and that self-love that we're trying to buy, that feel-good high that you get when you go shopping. You can have an even stronger, more beautiful relationship with yourself first, and then you buy things that are in resonance with you and will serve your path and your environment and those you share your life with.
Exactly.
Totally different mindset. Totally different.
Totally. And it's a process. You kind of have to find it on your own. I recently was just really asking, I was actually praying for, I need this spiritual understanding of money. Like it's like, it's missing. There's something missing with it. And so immediately resources come in. One of my coaches does a 2-day masterclass and a 3-day challenge on it. And then I'm introduced to the work of an amazing woman, Lynn Twist, who wrote a book called The Soul of Money. And I started to see, okay, yes, now I'm getting the chills, but like, this is the answer that I need. And so I'm really happy that our conversation did, make it from business over to money, which was totally not planned, but because I want that to be a takeaway for, of today, like you said, that all of the healing happens at all, like I would say, the dimensional levels of your existence. Right. So let's look at that, the health healing and the wealth and the relationship and the personal and the mindset and the energetic, all of that coming together.
Let's just heal the person, not just one aspect. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I love to talk on money because, I have a program.
Yes.
Master Your Money Mind. It was a total download, came one night, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm in the middle of facilitating. We've done our 5th module. We have 2 more left. And the changes are just phenomenal. And the biggest change, the biggest surprise to me, because I did the program first, got a train coming by. So it's like spirit acknowledging what I'm just about to share with you is the biggest surprise was the up-leveling of self-love and self-worth. And I actually caught myself. I work a lot with my unconscious mind, so it's my best friend. And I caught myself one day waking up in the morning telling myself over and over again how much I loved me. And I was like, wow, like that's not my typical, or hadn't been my typical self-talk. Not that I would necessarily beat myself up. It would be more like, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and this is on my, and just to sit in that energy of knowing how much love there was inside of me. It shifted because of healing all the baggage around money and then instilling a new supportive relationship with money.
Yes.
It's mind-blowing, the shifts that have happened for me since then. Not just the money part, but just incredible. Just incredible.
And just an incredible synchronicity, because in my workshop I did this week about the money healing, the two aspects that I was focusing on healing was moving from fear into love, and self-doubt into self-worth. So the self-worth and the love element, that really resonated, and something that came up for me this week.
Yeah, it's really, really important. And not only self-love, but that willingness to know yourself and be yourself and to express yourself, because that's what you're here to do.
Exactly.
Will support you, right?
Exactly. Totally. Well, thank you so much, Linda. This has just been an enlightening conversation. I've really enjoyed it. So can you tell our viewers how they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can certainly reach out to me on Facebook. My page is called Thought Change, Alchemy from the Inside Out. Although I might be taking the Alchemy from the Inside Out part out. So you can, if you do Thought Change as one word, I'll definitely come up. I also have a Facebook group that's linked onto that page that I'm changing the name to, Alchemy from the Inside Out. So you can look for that. And the website is thougthoughtchange.com. I would be happy to connect with anybody and share any little bits of story. Absolutely.
Fabulous. And then I also have a link in our comment, or in our title here, to a free ebook from Linda called Learning to Listen. And it's available, and I've got the hyperlinks if they want to download your ebook as well.
Fantastic.
And we actually did have one question come in. Do we have time to take a quick question, Linda?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we have a question from Rhonda, and Rhonda is saying that she's at a standstill with her career, and she's not sure what to do because her house and her shop flooded in the summer of 2016, and she's been disabled and has been told by medical professionals that she can no longer do all the little things that she did to create income. So maybe what's a belief system shift? That's what I'm coming into. I know that's a deep question.
There's a lot in there. You've got a lot of things that you could even look at symbolically. You said there was flooding in the house?
Yeah, flooding in her home and in her shop.
Okay, so quite often the element of water comes in because of emotion. So the thing I would suggest you to do is to start healing some emotion and spend some time really paying attention to how you feel, how your body responds in your environment. And when you're doing the work that you were doing, this might be the universe pushing you out of what you were doing and into a new vocation, just like I got pushed out of my job into this. But definitely, as every healer knows, they have to heal themselves first. But you've got to get to that kind of baseline level where you have a little bit more trust in yourself and a little bit more self-awareness and freedom within yourself, and that will manifest in your outer world. And I know you've got bills to pay and all these challenges on your plate. But keep in mind that you're never given more than you can handle. Never given more than you can handle. The other thing that I would suggest that you might consider is, and it sounds so silly, and I don't really mean to be silly, but I had this download of working with a really high frequency energy called the diamond ray, and I do water healings. Join my Facebook group, and every now and again I give away free water healings, and that will help kind of raise that vibration. You need to do things to raise your vibration, and whether that's listening to music or taking salt baths to help clear your energy field, or walking in nature.
Or listening to interviews like this, right? This brings a lot of hope and promise and
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And start to work with the tools that you have, your mind, your emotions, your
yeah.
body, and try and shift that vibration so that you can create a new level of reality for yourself.
Yes. And it begins with that wanting, right? You and vulnerability. Like, I just want to recognize you for having that vulnerability to say something and that desire deep within that, it's always, it just starts with that little glimmer of hope, that little, like with Linda's story, it's that little belief that there's that little voice that says, this doesn't have to be my life. This doesn't, and I know for me, it was, if I can get a diagnosis that I'm sick, I can heal. Like that was my answer. And so I followed it, and people thought I was crazy, and I took big leaps, right? Because I didn't want to follow the traditional way. I had to go this other way. And it served me. It served me, and I continue to heal and improve my life. So follow that voice and nourish it and trust it, and, nourish yourself in your faith. And there's so many things that you can do for free to make that shift.
Absolutely. Even sound healing. There's so many YouTube videos with frequency energy that will help you kind of, it's like, think of it like an earthquake that, you have some solid beliefs, some solid blockages of energy. And that music, that sound has a vibration that goes through your body and just kind of shakes it a little bit so it loosens it. It's a little easier to move. You can
Right.
do wonderful things with sound healing. I know you do sound healing too.
I do. Here's one of my bowls. And Rhonda, I think you probably have downloaded my free meditation, Spirit of the Eagle. Listen to that on repeat, because that's got very healing frequencies where we actually go into your soul level and your DNA and your quantum energies. And so, things like that will shift, because we may have been talking earlier, or no, this was with a client this morning, that literally what happens is when we shift our belief system, we shift our mindset, those low energies, it's like they can't even vibrate in our field. And it's amazing how that works. And so people will vibrate out of your life. Situations will vibrate out of your life. I think that's kind of what happened with our careers, in a way that, at some point we had to make the conscious choice to go this other route, because that other way just didn't vibrate anymore. So
definitely pay attention to situations and people that kind of bring your energy level down. The other point I just like to make really quickly is that, it's good to change the mindset, but if you don't get it on the unconscious level as well, then you're building your house on a foundation that's not solid.
Yep, that's true.
There's definitely some inner work that needs to be done to kind of get it deeper inside.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we wish you so much blessings on your journey. And Rhonda's in my Facebook group as well. So we'll make sure you get that link over to join Linda and have that beautiful friendship develop. And Linda, we thank you so much. It's just been an honor and a delight to connect with you. And I just cherish our friendship. And again, if you were, sparked by Linda, Linda has a lot going on. Go check out her website, thoughtchange.com. She has a weekly podcast, or somewhat weekly. She has a lot going on. So go ahead and follow her if you were sparked, because she's a wonderful woman, and you can tell very calm, peaceful, subtle energy that's quite powerful. So we appreciate you, Linda.
Thank you, Celia. It's my delight and my honor
to
be here with you and your tribe. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so we will wrap up, and we'll be back. Actually, I think we'll be back next week with our next interview. So stay tuned for Feature Friday, future interviews coming up. Until next time, this is Celia Faye Meisel, to your infinite empowerment. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.